Weapons, armor, supplies, the best prices, unbeatable quality.
This puddle of fetid lask, it's barely worth selling.
Ah, believe me, it is well worth selling. Perhaps you mean it is barely worth buying.
Now just shut up and let me shop, imbecile. What can you tell me about Thule?
Tell you what, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I need to collect the weekly tariffs from Wani and Rabbi Fanteset, only they're never keen to pay up. Someone like you could compel their compliance rather well, don't you think? If you get the money, I'll tell you something useful. You came back? Wonderful!
How's the siege affected Thule?
Many fled before it began, but my guild and the Guild of Steel are rather stuck here. It's not exactly a ghost town, but it's eerie seeing the old hostel abandoned. No one's been inside since, well, since I don't know when. Weapons, armor, supplies, always a pleasure.
Come on then, let's get this over with. What's this?
Show thyself, coward!
Corpses, an Ishkai, and a human.
Art thou afraid to face me? thou shalt know despair.
Weapons, armor, supplies.
Know anything about the corpses in the hostel?
This is the first I've heard of this. The other merchants had more to do with the hostel than I did, though. You came back? Wonderful.
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
Don't know anything useful about that, I'm afraid, but I'll bet someone in town does. Weapons, armor, supplies, always a pleasure.
I'm here to collect the tariff for Morphew.
Already? I just paid them last week.
Be quick about it. My time is worth more than your life.
Just take it and be on your way, thug. Your customers always bring your unwanted goods to me.
I want to know about the corpses in the old hostel.
There are dead bodies in that place. Honestly, you'd think someone from the guild would have noticed. I suppose the building has been abandoned for a while now. Haven't seen anyone go inside since the siege started. Ah, what do you have for me?
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
I remember seeing the Sura mercenary talking to Feyruz before he left. And Feyruz looked mighty pleased about it too. Please, if you speak to Feyruz, don't mention I said anything. I want nothing to do with the Sura, now or ever. Ah, what do you have for me? Think of me when you have goods you do not need.
I'm here for the tariff.
Oh, is it time for that already? Very well, here you go.
Easy money.
Take care, always good to see you, friend.
I want to know about the corpses in the old hostel.
No idea what happened at the hostel. I used to deliver food there, back before the siege. But I haven't been inside since that Sura warrior went there. I don't think anyone has. Always good to see you, friend.
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
He came through the gates, went to the hostel, and left. That's all I know, really. I was just glad to see him leave town, to be honest. Always good to see you, friend. Be safe.
Morphew sent me to get your tariff.
Ah, I had wondered about that. Please, give Morphew my regards.
Sure, but that'll cost you extra.
Stay welcome, welcome.
I want to know about the corpses in the old hostel.
I can only tell you about the hostel itself, I'm afraid. Mercenaries from out of town would stay there when working for the Guild of Steel. I think Rabath had a deal with the owner at one point. He might know more. Back so soon.
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
I wasn't even in town when it happened. You'll have to ask elsewhere. Welcome, welcome. Stay safe, traveller.
My weapons are the...
I want to know about the corpses in the old hostel.
I don't know anything about that. Ask Rabat. He dealt with the owner. Best weapons in...
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
No, I don't know anything about that.
You seem a little too certain.
I said I don't know anything. Now, if you aren't buying anything, be on your way. Best weapons in the outlet. May all your endeavors be fruitful.
Back so soon?
Did Feyruz deal with the Sura?
I wouldn't put it past him, but I'm afraid I've no idea what happened that day. Back so soon? Stay safe, traveler.
Always good to see you.
Did Feyruz deal with the Sura?
No doubt about it. That Sura definitely gave something to Feyruz before leaving town. But if he asks, you didn't hear that from me. Always good to see you, friend. Take care, friend. Bring your unwanted...
Did Feyruz deal with the Sura?
Other than seeing him talk to that one Sura mercenary that one time, I've no idea. Ah, what do you have for... Think of me when you have goods you do not need.
These are dangerous times for one without sufficient protection. Come, sample my fine ware.
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
Can't tell you anything about the Sura, I'm afraid. I never get too close to them. When you've been a merchant for as long as I have, you learn when to keep your distance from their kind. Back again?
Did Feyruz deal with the Sura?
I don't really know what Feyruz gets up to, but he sure had a lot of silver on him that day the Sura was in town. You don't think... No, forget I asked. Back again, I see. Come back anytime.
No, unbeat...
Your deal with the Sura. Tell me what it was and I'll spare your life.
Don't hurt me. I just arranged the messenger, I swear. Kench, the woman who ran the hostel, she asked me to get a message to the one-eyed Sura warrior. He paid me in silver for informing him. But I was only doing what Kench asked of me. You have my word. No one beats me on...
Tell me what Kench wanted from the Sura.
She sold him out. The Ishkai who was living there betrayed him to save her own neck. You wouldn't know to look at her, but Kench brokered contracts for mercenaries all around the heretic kingdoms. Before she came to Thole, she hired the one-eyed Sura, but the job went sour. Her employer was slain, and the Sura was never paid. If there's one thing you don't do in the mercenary business, it's welsh on a debt to a Sura warrior. I guess she saw handing over the Ishkai as a way to wipe out her debts.
Ushak, come out from whence thee hides. Thou hast misplaced thy trust in thy friend, Kench. She betrayed thee. Yet another letter. So, she did not betray thee, and thou hast guarded her fallen remains since thy deaths. How touching. Come, spirit. Thy vigil has ended. Join me. soul is mine now. All shall cower before my wrath.
This Ishkai is an impressive sniper.
Indeed, more impressive than thou, mortal.
If only you had no tongue, demon.
You came back? Wonderful!
Do you know someone called Kench?
Don't know anything useful about that, I'm afraid, but I'll bet someone in town does. Weapons up!
Here you go.
You have my gratitude. So much easier than trying to negotiate with those jackals myself. You wanted information? I can tell you this. If you want to get into the Guild of Steel, Arashad can get you into the cellar. But beware, as the guild has some vicious traps down there. You came back? Wonderful! Always a pleasure.
Pathetic! I shall handle this myself.
bloody locked doors. This is my lucky day.
I shall show thee true power.
Still. Every lock has its way. We just need to find out what it is. Well, at least it'll be worth a few coins.
Already dead.
Fine, I'll handle this.
Thou shalt face me now.
What do you need?
You know about a Sura mercenary in Thule?
This is really none of my business. Please, leave me out of this. You have questions?
Do you know someone called Kench?
She used to run the hostel, didn't she? Honestly, outside the Guild of Silk, my knowledge of the people of Thole gets a little sketchy. What do you need?
How's business?
Alas, 'tis a bad time to be a Tholian merchant. The city is surrounded by a horde of nomads, intent on sacking it. Terrible things lurk in the shadows of the catacombs. On the other hand, Guild of Silk profits are up this quarter. Nothing like a siege to drive up the price of food, huh? Please, ask your question.
How long can you bear the siege?
Hard to say, really. Possibly a year? If a sandstorm forces the nomads to retreat, even longer. Not to mention that the Intendant is an excellent gate weaver. He may have means to help us beyond even this. It's an inconvenience, but there are bigger dangers within the walls than without. You have questions?
What do you know of Duke Darmok?
Less than I'd want, more than I'd like. He overthrew my father as Intendant. I had no love for my father, but he was bloodkin, you know? I do not trust the Duke, and not just because he's in the Order of the Veil. Everyone knows the Order is just the thin veneer of respectability the Inquisition uses to cloak its institutional corruption. Thole would be better off without him.
I know both the man and his liege. You're wise to distrust him.
You have questions?
Here are your slightly mangled spider carcasses. You release the Ishkai.
Of course, I am a man of my word. Especially when dealing with someone stronger than I am. Of course, the infestation will continue as long as the spiders can reach Thole. I wonder if they could be prevented from reaching the burial ground somehow. What do you need?
I can stop the spiders reaching the burial grounds. For 200.
No, they'd eventually find another way in anyway. 50.
Little time is worth a little money. 150.
100, final offer.
Done. I would have taken 80.
I would have paid 120, but 100 is fair. I've heard there's a statue near where the spiders are living. That would seem to be a sensible place to start. Please, ask your questions.
We've run out of bread to sell. It's not a good sign.
They freed you already? Good.
Shakik is in your debt, Captain Jasker. Shakik has little to give, but you must take this.
A key for the Arcanum. You know the hooded man.
He gave Shakik this after freeing Shakik. He wanted you to have it.
Nothing like feeling you've been set up. Are you fit enough to gate weave?
To leave Thol, Shakik will find the strength, but it may take longer to return.
I need you to take a message to House Malfagon in Kayalisar. You know the place. Tell them Jasker has returned and stands ready to assist in their hour of need. Can you remember that? Listen to their message and then find me, however it is you do that.
Shakik can weave a gate from you to Kayalisar. Return to you wherever you are.
Good. I knew I could rely upon one of Darius's Ishkai to aid me. May you fare well, Shakik.
The honor is Shakik's. Ganiki Erskish und Gan.